Venerio, unsure if he is ill or if he has convinced himself he is ill, has been in bed for 3 days. He stopped looking at his phone on Wednesday. By Friday evening, he has read 6 National Geographic adventure magazines featuring the headlines Deep Survival, Extreme Photos, Wild Islands, Top 25 Must-See Natural Creations, How to Survive Anything. The September issue of Vogue Italia, an ancient issue of Mondo Uomo that left paper crumbs in his bed, 4 non-consecutive issues of FHM, and a stack of Reader's Digests. The magazines belong to his flatmate Minor, and to Yopo, a woman who is at this moment referring to herself as Venerio's ex-girlfriend at a cafe 280 kilometers away from Venerio's bedroom, direction due south. Specifically, Yopo is debating with her friend since childhood whether or not to initiate a conversation, so to speak, with Venerio's new girlfriend, a woman she has never met and whose name she does not know. Should Venerio's ex-girlfriend speak up, she asks? Shouldn't the new girlfriend hear from me? On Saturday, Venerio gets out of bed to eat lunch with Minor, who has prepared a salad with tuna and spinach. Minor stopped inquiring after Venerio's health on day 2. It was clear that Venerio's illness was not usual. He asks more generally, all okay? A little better, Venerio responds and offers to wash dishes. Yopo, who on Saturday is at work behind the front desk of her sister's salon, believes that Venerio is recovering from a serious illness that lasted several weeks, during which he was comforted by his newly formed monogamous commitment to a woman he met last summer in Canada. She expects this woman knows nothing or very little of Venerio's former commitment to Yopo, which dates to the summer before. Yopo's sister arrives at the salon at noon. "You're okay?" she asks, touching Yopo's arm in a sisterly way. "No, Yopo wrinkles her nose. Venerio, who on Sunday is back in bed with a mystery novel he found in the kitchen, believes that Yopo is not what she seemed. So he said some months ago to his friend since childhood. Venerio is having a more difficult time explaining his sudden decapacitating illness. He feels terrible, he isn't going to work, he has a fever, he hasn't called a doctor. His friend since childhood asks when Venerio came to understand Yopo as not what she seemed. The summer, Venerio told him, she was using me, I could see it. Venerio was thinking of the weeks when Yopo went to the beach with her friends and called him once or twice, barely kept in touch at all, and when she got back, they went out dancing and got in a fight because, what did she say? "Why do you ignore me in public? That means something," she said. And he started counting the occasions when she demanded respect and the occasions when he felt ignored and comparing the numbers. The mystery novel he found in the kitchen is a high-suspense story about a two-timing spy who turns out to be the hero. Venerio reads it in one sitting and then gets up to eat soup with Minor, who is distracted by an upcoming deadline for a magazine assignment, an article about robots in the workplace. Sunday night, Yopo goes out with the ladies she works with at the salon. Men who cheat like that for months or years without saying a word, not worth the time of day, the ladies say. What are you hanging on for? I'm not hanging on, Yopo insists. The ladies shrug. Monday, Venerio goes into work. He pictures himself as the two-timing spy who turns out the hero. He has trouble keeping his story straight. Was he in the hospital or wasn't he? Tuesday, Yopo mounts an investigation. She calls her friend, who is a friend of someone who knows Venerio's friend since childhood. How is Venerio? Who is his new girlfriend? She needs to know the truth. Venerio's health, she learns, is improved. There is no girlfriend news. Venerio has trouble sleeping. Yopo fulfills various stereotypes about women experiencing rejection. She calls Venerio multiple times. He doesn't answer. She writes a message. I think it's really important to talk over some things. Can you respect that? She deletes the text message without sending it. She writes it again, deletes it, gets angry, eats half a jar of olives, is late for work. Venerio asks if Minor, still distracted, deadline imminent, has any more mystery novels by the author of the one about the two-timing hero spy. Yeah, sure, he digs out some from a box in the closet. There are more National Geographic adventures on top of the pile. 24 perfect escapes, all-weather training, chaos on K2. Venerio reads mystery novels continuously for 3 days, but does not identify with any of the protagonists. Yopo talks to Venerio's friend since childhood directly. He says he doesn't know anything about the new girlfriend. Yopo is embarrassed by the conversation and hangs up abruptly. Yopo reflects on meeting Venerio and falling in love. The memory is faint. Venerio reflects on meeting Yopo the summer before last and missing the signs. He sees that she called more than once. Yopo determines that she should drive 280 kilometers due north and wait for Venerio to leave his workplace in order to follow his movements, but she doesn't really decide to do this. Venerio's performance in his workplace suffers. Yopo makes up a character to fill up that new girlfriend space. Her name is Laura and she works in advertising. Yopo leaves her appearance undetermined, but imagines her conversation in great detail. Venerio overhears Minor telling someone that he, Venerio, fabricated illness in order to escape his ex-girlfriend. To Minor's credit, his tone is speculative and his comments only in passing. On her day off, Yopo drives 280 kilometers due west with her sister to visit their grandmother. Venerio starts writing a mystery novel. He gets about 1,000 words in. XXX.
It's a long story. Basically, when that happened, and he was together with another woman, somehow later, we started to date. He convinced me of his love, and I felt like I'm convinced, and we dated for a bit. But there was this weird relationship, or was weird tension between I'm faking it, and he makes me believe, you know. And the crazy part was that our pseudo relationship continued for another 1.5 years. So what happened was we were kind of together, but it was this weird thing that I lied to myself, and I also didn't trust him the whole time. And for a reason, because I think after 1 year, and we broke up twice during this time, and the second time we didn't make it official, because at some point we were an official couple to the outside. But once it started to get very weird, and we broke up a second time, and he called me again, and he was so attentive, and I was a sucker. He became dependent on his love. And I was at this bar waiting for him, and there were a couple of people that I knew, and also one girl that I knew that he had an affair way before me. And then she was really drunk, sitting at the bar, telling me, yeah, I don't understand why he doesn't see you, or why you're still not together, and you're such a good match. You know, last time when Martin and I were sleeping with each other, and then I realized that was that year when we were sleeping with each other, you know. So Martin decided to have this this multiple layers of love having around him, you know. So he was the person who made women around him, or girls around him, dependent on a certain way of love. So what happened, he picked me up half an hour later. I was sitting in his car, which was a Porsche back then, because he had also this appearance, this tempting appearance that a young girl is drawn to, because it's this unreal life, you know. And he fooled me, and I believed that, you know. And now thinking about it, I really don't understand it. I would never go that way. So I tested him, obviously, and he was telling me about how much he loves me, and he said exactly everything, like down the script, what a girl would like to hear. So it turns out that he was really cheating on me, and I broke up with him and left. 3 months later, he moved to Hamburg because of work, and somehow he made me believe that because he's not in the same town that he used to live, all his fakeness would disappear. So I visited him in Hamburg, thinking still naively that maybe there's a possibility that there's a change of his character. So what happened was I spent 2 days with him around his new entourage of people, feeling bad for 48 hours, feeling suspicious for 48 hours, feeling I'm playing a role in a stage scenario that I didn't choose to be part of, you know, but like on a drug almost. So what happened was that on one specific night, on the second night when I was there, he really misbehaved. We went out. He really got drunk. Drunk, and I actually really believe also that he was on cocaine, which was also really not my cup of tea. So when we got home, he wanted to sleep with me, and I really felt I'm sleeping with someone that I don't know, you know. So he fell asleep, and I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning. It was summer. I really remember that it was about to, like, you know, that it's going to be daylight soon. So I asked myself, what did I draw myself to? So I got up, packed all my stuff, and I wrote him a note and said, never call me again. And then I went to the train station and I called my dad and I said that I'm going back by train. And if he could pick me up. And then he said, oh, that's really good timing because your brother is here visiting us and I could drop him off and pick you up in the same time. So I remember that I arrived at my parents' place and I really felt so light, you know. I really felt that something that was holding me back was gone, you know.
At the time you were just 20s.
I was young, I was naive, and I think after a really long relationship that was really good and really healthy, and with a man that really loved me and really wanted to marry me and was really cherishing and caring me, but I broke up with the first man because it was too easy. Everything was already there, and with my probably like second, third, I think there was something in between, but with him, I felt challenged, and I realized that after being with the first one for such a long time, and everything was so authentic, I needed something that really fucks my brain, you know. So in fact it's a complete contrast to the first experience that I've made, you know. But I really wanted it, and now I have a radar for that, you know. I can see with a couple of people around me, I immediately know that's an agenda that I don't want to go after, you know. But yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
So I wonder, so why she choose this guy?
I think it's probably one part of my life that I think that was necessary. And I have a couple stories that are very sweet, you know, very generous, and maybe should be kept as a secret, you know, or maybe are too easy. But this was one of the stages of my life that were irrational, completely irrational. And somehow people say when you're really, really in love, that you act very irrational. But paradoxically, I wasn't in love.
Was it love?
And to be honest, I think after I broke up, I mean, he called me. He called me so often. He sent me, I think, a month between that note.
Drunk or?
No, sober. Because I left this note and I closed off everything. He called me. He called me also via other people that he knew that I would probably stand next to, asking them if he could talk to me. And I ignored them. I completely ignored him. He sent me, I think, 7 Facebook contact requests, after, and also he sent me for 4 years an email on my birthday that was so long. It was like an essay, you know, about how much.
Did you keep it?
I have parts of it, yeah, and it's unbelievable what he used me for something, and I believed something that I thought he's after. So it was a game, you know. It was some kind of a game. So I really don't think it was love, not at all, not at all. He gave me a lot of gifts. He gave me a lot of attention. He surprised me. No, nothing of that. Nothing of that. No. It's not that I never think about him. Really, never.
Never. No.
I have moments where I see people he knows and I know on Facebook, where there's this tiny glimpse. But I feel I feel like they're, you know, like giving him anything from me now, or in the last 10 years, would have said that everything he's done was okay, but it wasn't, you know? So that's why I decided he's not worth to be any part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also my grandma always said that at certain time in our age, we don't waste energy in people anymore. We understand what is good for us. And it took me a bit longer. I believe that there is a concept of love. I think there is a difference between being in love or loving someone. I think the longer you're in a relationship, you are not in love anymore, but you love someone for everything that the person is giving you and what you've been together. Like in a good and in a bad way. So maybe there's a little bit less attraction, but there's this this authentic feeling of that you want to care about someone and you want to be cared of. And I also have, my parents are together since 35 years. They are completely different people. But I can see that there is, even if my mom is a very difficult woman, I can see there's a level of respect. And I think they also strongly consider, without considering it, it's just what they learned, that the level of respect is the highest aspect of love. So I think you have to, when you're in a long relationship, you have to fight for that. You have to work on that like you work on your own work. How you try to improve you being an artist or me being a curator. You have to really work on also being in a relationship with all details, you know. As much as you write a text about the work or think about how you materialize the work, you have to think about how you reformulate your relationship and how you kind of work on the details, you know, that when you make dinner, you don't make it each time the same time, because you repeat, and repetition starts for you to be uninteresting, you know, and then you withdraw. But if you change how you fix that dinner each time, or maybe every now and then, there's a certain level of attention that we like as human beings that bring us back to it. Yeah.
There is always that moment, for me at least, when you have arrived at the airport, does not matter where, and you are standing there, waiting for your baggage, looking at the other bags as they go around the conveyor belt or baggage carousel. Who owns that Samsonite? Where is the person with the pink leopard skin suitcase from? Baggage carousels mysteriously and miraculously turn whatever is on them into some sort of contemporary holy relic. They are instant exhibition-making machines. They are the most radical form of plinth, adding narrative and wonder to anything circulating on them. The sense of awe produced by these most mundane of creatures is perhaps linked to the fairground and the idea of watching static objects in motion. Everything is a potential prize. They are to display what Celia Gimenez is to mural restoration. Monstrously hideous, yet insanely and unexplainably compelling to look at. There is something about standing at the arrivals area at the airport, the large empty space. The conveyor belt becomes a stand-in for a type of hope machine. Everybody is thinking the same thing, willing it to happen. Please let my luggage come through. Please let my bag be next. You look at the suitcases rotating the oval circuit. There's one there, wrapped in cling film, probably full of heroin. They always have some type of metal grid ceiling, these airport arrival areas. That and the artificial lighting add to the ambience of nothingness. Airports, they are the new white cubes, and conveyor belts, the display tool of choice of the 21st century's most discerning, sophisticated curators. The scratched rubber of a baggage carousel shows its years of service, the way the bags emerge from the hole in the floor or wall, drift past you, then disappear again into a different hole. The travel industry and the industry of human transportation. It's impossible to imagine a world without them. Then there is the sad moment when all the luggage has been claimed. All but one sad, lonely bag remains. That is human despair right there, being left alone, forgotten, without a friend. Maybe the owner missed their flight, or the bag has been sent to the wrong country. The system has failed, and someone somewhere is panicking. Baggage carousels have everything the modern world does: standardization, isolation, joy, pain, luxury, degradation. Where are they going, all those bags? Who needs the Louvre or Sixtine Chapel? The great wonders of the universe are right here, rotating at slow pace.
15. Me gustas cuando callas porque estás como ausente y me oyes desde lejos y mi voz no te toca. Parece que los ojos se te hubieran volado y parece que un beso te cerrara la boca. Como todas las cosas están llenas de mi alma, emerges de las cosas, llena del alma mía. Mariposa de sueño, te pareces a mi alma y te pareces a la palabra melancolía. Me gusta cuando callas y estás como distante, y estás como quejándote, mariposa en arrullo, y me oyes desde lejos, y mi voz no te alcanza. Déjame que me calle con el silencio tuyo. Déjame que te hable también con tu silencio, claro como una lámpara, simple como un anillo. Eres como la noche, callada y constelada. Tu silencio es de estrella, tan lejano y sencillo. Me gusta cuando callas porque estás como ausente, distante y dolorosa, como si hubieras muerto. Una palabra entonces, una sonrisa bastan. Yo estoy alegre, alegre de que no sea cierto. 18. Aquí te amo. En los oscuros pinos se desenreda el viento. Fosforece la luna sobre las aguas errantes. Andan días iguales persiguiéndose. Se desciñe la niebla en danzantes figuras. Una gaviota de plata se descuelga del ocaso. A veces una vela, altas, altas estrellas. O la cruz negra de un barco, solo. A veces amanezco y hasta mi alma está húmeda. Suena, resuena el mar lejano. Este es un puerto. Aquí te amo. Aquí te amo y en vano te oculta el horizonte. Te estoy amando aún entre estas frías cosas. A veces van mis besos en esos barcos graves que recorren por el mar hacia donde no llegan. Ya me veo olvidado como estas viejas anclas. Son más tristes los muelles cuando atraca la tarde. Se fatiga mi vida inútilmente hambrienta. Amo lo que no tengo. Estás tú tan distante. Mi hastío forcejea con los lentos crepúsculos. Pero la noche llega y comienza a cantarme. La luna hace girar su rodaje de sueño. Me miran con tus ojos las estrellas más grandes. Y como yo te amo, los pinos en el viento. Quieren cantar tu nombre con sus hojas de alambre. Después de mucho esa tarde, llegué a la conclusión que éramos un espejo. Lo que a mí me afectaba de él era equivalente a lo que yo lo afectaba. Por un momento pienso que las parejas y sus rompimientos son como dos caras de una misma moneda. Ninguna logra asomarse al otro lado.
인생의 선택의 기로에서 오직 하나만을 선택해야 한다면 사랑을 포기하겠다는 사람들의 이야기를 보며 사랑이 가볍고도 불쌍하다는 생각이 들었다. 마치 대형 슈퍼에서 1+1 상품처럼 매력적인 사은품 같은 느낌이다. 함께 붙어오는 사은품으론 좋지만 그것만은 사지 않을 것 같은 사랑. 혹은 내가 돈을 주고 사긴 아깝지만 누군가 선물로 준다면 좋은 사랑. 나를 돋보이게 하려는 사랑. 없어도 크게 불편할 것이 없는 사랑. 함께하기 싫지만 포기하긴 아까운 사랑. 손해볼 것 없는 사랑. 더 이상 사랑은 중심이 아닌 다른 무언가를 포장하는 껍데기일 뿐이다. 사랑을 포함한 감정들이 소비되고 있다. 편리해지기 위해 만든 문명의 이기들이 오히려 사람들을 바보로 만들고 있는 것처럼 사랑이 사라진 결혼은 간단하게 해결할 수 있는 문제를 점점 더 어렵게 만들고 있다. 서로 좋아하는 남자와 여자가 만나 함께 애 낳고 사는 것이란 단순한 문제가 여러 가지 조건에 의해 점점 더 꼬이고 풀이 과정만 길어진다. 조건을 더 많이, 조금만 더 설정하면서 결국 문제를 해결하지 못하는 길로 열심히 돌고 돌게 하는 게 요즘 우리가 마주하는 결혼이고, 사랑은 시인 최승자의 여자들과 사내들의 한 구절처럼 언제나 벼락처럼 왔다가 정전처럼 끊기고 갑작스러운 배고픔으로 찾아오는 이별 같은 찰나의 순간이자 추억일 뿐이란다. 어지러움이 좀처럼 나아지질 않는다. 어느 순간부터 흔들리는 사람들이 친숙하다. 잠을 자야 할 텐데 혼자만 알 수 있는 실수 하나가 머리에 맴돈다. 어떻게 해야 잠을 잘 수 있다는 걸 알면서도 쉽게 지켜지질 않는다. 옳은 것을 알지만 어기고 사는 날이 많아지면서 스스로를 혹사시키고 있다. 행복을 떠들지만 결국 익숙한 이 불안을 떠날 생각은 없는 것 같다. 아마도 그건 내가 사랑이 부족해서이다. 그토록 기다리던 햇빛이 가득한 아침을 겨우 잠든 잠을 깨운 해방꾼으로 몰아세운 것은 밤새 내린 눈에게 자신의 먹이를 빼앗긴 외로운 길고양이의 배고픔을 사랑하지 않아서이고, 비가 온다고 불평하는 것은 마른 날씨에 꽃을 피우지 못하고 봉우리처럼 죽어버린 나팔꽃을 사랑하지 않아서이다. 예술가의 삶을 불평하는 것도 새로운 작품을 만드는 예술가의 불안함과 부족함을 사랑하지 않아서이고, 누군가를 화나게 하는 것도 그 사람 안에 감추고 싶은 간절함을 보지 못하기 때문이다. 그리고 나 자신을 괴롭히는 것도 결국은 내가 나를 사랑하지 않아서였다. 남들에게 흔해 빠진 저 껍데기 같은 사랑을 덮으면 나는 오늘 밤 잠을 잘 수 있을까? It is not a particular thing to consider marriage without love, because material richness is important in life. Financial discomfort and the psychological problem are crucial social issues. There are a million kinds of lives, so there should be a million kinds of love. People who don't want to have a child, people who don't want to love, people who want to depart from their lovers say it is because of money. They must believe that money can buy love, even a child. For South Korean people who live day by day, having love or having a child is luxurious.